Hello, everyone. I'm Anna, and I am a graphic designer, brand strategist, digital marketer, and relentless entrepreneur. I'm helpless. Welcome to my channel. This is my first video, so if you're here and you're listening, bear with me. Future me, she's going to be a little bit embarrassed of all this, but here we are because we gotta do what we gotta do, right? Okay. So the first thing that I am going to talk about today is about how to build your personal brand. We hear a lot of you have to have a personal brand if you're starting a business because you have to position yourself and stuff and blah blah blah. So yes, if you are building a business that matters, but your brand still feels like a patchwork of pretty posts and Canva chaos, you're not alone. In this video, I'm sharing the 5 foundational steps I guide my clients through to build a brand that's not only strategic, but aligned with who they are and who they serve. The first thing that we're going to talk about is clarify your core. So branding begins with inner work, especially if it's personal branding, right? Before you talk visuals and how pretty it may look and the logos and the colors and the fonts and the website and all stuff, yes, you have a long-term vision, but you have to ask yourself also, what change do I want to create? Who do I want to become in the process? These aren't just nice things to ask to yourself. This is going to help you clarify where you're going, right? Like clear your path. It's like when you go on a walk and you just start walking. Sometimes I do that and I just start walking because I need to clear my mind. That's perfectly fine. But if you're being intentional and you're trying to build something strategically, you have to have a clear path. And to that, you need a map, right? You go to Google Maps, you go to Maps or whatever app you use, your GPS, and you put from here to there. Like, how long is it going to take me? And what route should I take? And what's the best route? Because sometimes if we are walking, that route is not safe. So we have to be cautious, right? So it happened to me when I started my own personal brand. Like I spent a lot of time thinking and figuring out how I was going to launch myself to the world. I am a very passionate person. As I said, relentless entrepreneur. I have many ideas, self-deprecating humor sometimes. And in that line, I like to say that I only have big vision and big idea. What I've learned is that, yes, when I get that big idea, thank you, Jesus, for that big idea, it's just, okay, let's break it down into little steps and how are we going to get there? It's I'm reading this amazing book and the guy says like it's like when you have like a big elephant that you have to eat. How do you do it? You're not gonna eat the whole thing just at once, right? You take it one bite at a time. So you take it one step at a time. It's the same thing with branding. So let's start with clarifying your core, who you are. Are you developing a personal brand? What are you doing, right? For that personal brand, like what steps are you taking? Do you know yourself enough? And I had a workshop branding for a personal brand once with a friend, and at the end he was like, girl, I feel like I'm just pouring my soul here. I feel like I just went to therapy with you. Because it's true, like you have to, peel off the layers and who you are to discover who you are, because you need to work on your personality, your character, your tone of voice, who are you in different circumstances and all of that, okay? So the second step is understand your audience deeply. Where are they in their stage, right? What do they need specifically? What do they do? How do they behave? Where do they hang out? You need to understand the field that you're playing, because that's what's going to help you position better. Okay, it's like in Spanish we say it's like cucaracha en baile de gallina, which means it's like being a roach in a ham party. If you land in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong people, it's going to feel weird. So yes, it's understanding your audience, because you need to go where they are. You need to say what they need to hear. Remember that branding is a lot about you if it's personal branding, but if you are working on corporate branding or branding for a business, it's a lot about who you are serving. And that's the key word there. Who are you serving so that you can deliver better what you do? Because it's not about transactions only, it's about serving. The third step that we're going to talk about right now is shaping your brand narrative. And yes, if you thought storytelling, it is. Because storytelling is king. Remember a few years ago when everyone was saying like content's king? Well, storytelling is king now. We are, as human beings, craving for connection. And how do we build that? Through stories. It's the same with your brand. Like, what are you going to say? Like, what's the story that you're going to share through your brand? Okay, that's connecting your narrative, your expertise, your values, your mission, your vision, like everything that encompasses your building. That's storytelling. You're a person, and if it's a personal brand, like you have a series of events in your life that have shaped you. Like if you are an immigrant, I'm from Venezuela, for example, and I've lived abroad for many, many years, and I lived in a bunch of different countries and cities. So when it comes to me, you may think that, oh, she's been around, like I know cultures, I know different people, so I speak two languages. I've been in this entrepreneurial journey for a while long now. I've failed, I've had some successes, but that's like the whole around me, like the story around me, that's building me, that built me in some senses. Like I have faith, I believe in God, I believe in Jesus. That's also one factor that shaped my being, like who I am and my story. So what are you going to tell your people? And bear in mind that your story is where your core in your audience interlock, because that's something that you're going to share probably. Maybe not exactly the same, but at some point, in my case, I have learned to be very resilient. I've failed, as I said. I am still working. I am building up. I have faith. So maybe if you've been through different situations, similar situations, you are going to feel the same way. Like you are resilient enough to know that you can keep going. You're an optimist. You have faith too. So you're building up and you're going to relate to my story and I am going to relate to yours. And that's important too, because this is not a transactional, I'm sorry for my English. This is not a transactional relationship. This is a connection. This is meant to be like both ways. I need to understand you so you can understand me in the same way, right? That being said, shaping your narrative is what's going to bring you clarity. And brands that lead with clarity and confidence are the ones leading the market right now. And with this, I want to leave you also with one little question. With one little question. Sorry. What's one part of your story that you are not sharing because you think you are too much? Because you fear people will not understand you, because you feel that it's not worth it. Let me tell you this. That might be the exact thing that your audience is craving to hear. Let's go to step number 4. Remember this. Design with purpose, not pressure. And what does that mean? Exactly. Well, we are very driven by trends right now. And it's not right now, it's been for a while now. So you can see some brands that are all aesthetically pleasing, pretty and neutral and all that stuff. And that's very nice. But it came to a point where everything was like that. Like, really, how are you going to differentiate yourself visually if you keep following trends? It's not possible. So design with purpose, not pressure. Like, let's show who you are, right? Let's take aesthetics aside. Your brand visuals should reflect your essence, who you are, not what's trending this quarter of the year. So the best design systems feel like a mirror to yourself. If you are a personal brand, that's what you have to feel. So if you see my brand, for example, like I am usually very quiet, but I'm also very loud. Maybe you noticed there's a lot of hand gestures, and I am a maximalist. Like I like color, I like patterns, so I'm reflecting that. But at the same time, I'm trying to stay stylish and fashionable and all that. So that's what I'm reflecting with my brand. That's what you should do. Now, here's a tricky question: like, how do you do if it's not a personal brand, it's a business, and you are creating corporate brand? Well, that's what brand strategy is for, and that's where we are going to sit down and we are going to create a personality, a full brand system for your company. And in that brand system, we're going to determine if it has a personality, what type of personality it has, if it has a tone of voice, like what tone of voice does it have, So whatever encompasses a person, character, colors, gestures, way to speak, accent, if they have an accent, if they speak two languages, like everything, it's going to be a person for your brand. So it's basically humanizing your brand. And that's how we create the visuals. That's how we translate all that into a visual identity that fits your business, the personality, and also fits your target audience, because it's about what they want to see, not want to see, or what they look for. That's the key word. I'm sorry. It's not what they want to see. It's what they look for, because that's another thing about brands. It's like I love this color. I love green. Yes, I love green and I love a lot of colors, but maybe I'm talking to an audience that are more quiet. So bold colors and vibrant colors are not going to fit. Or maybe it's the other way. I am using very neutral colors in sophisticated fonts, and my website is like very clean, very aesthetic and everything. But I'm trying to get bold, confident women, for example. How are they going to relate to that if you're talking to the yoga girl? Nothing wrong with yoga girls. Let's take Lululemon. Lululemon has an aesthetic. They're very soft. Their aesthetic is very polished, very kept together, very demure. But who are they talking to? So that's their target. Same goes with you. Bottom line, it's just don't build for aesthetics, build for alignment. And the fifth step is embody it consistently. What does that mean? We hear in social media that you have to be consistent. Okay, if you're posting 3 times a week, just keep doing it every single time and be in stories and all stuff and da-da-da. Right? Consistency means that you keep the same tone of voice, you keep the same brand, like visual identity in every single touch point of your brand business. That being said, if you have a website, that website should reflect that. If you have social media, your social media should reflect that. If you are creating events, like you are hosting events or anything, the events they should reflect that. So it's keeping everything in line, being consistent with your brand. Every font, every color, every pattern, every vibe, every melody, smells, scents, everything has to be the same in every single touch point of your brand. That's consistency in branding. So being consistent with your brand is showing up the way that your brand is in every single time. Okay? Offer, content, voice. As I said, consistency doesn't mean rigidity. It means building habits for your brand that reinforce the experience. Remember that branding is all about experience. So you vibe with your audience. That audience, they see you and they decide to follow you and they get what you're doing. But are you creating that emotional connection with them? And listen, that's the hardest part, to create emotional connection with your audience. But with a very good branding strategy, very well laid down plan and a lot of patience, you can get there. Granted, it's probably going to take a lot of experimenting at the beginning if you are starting, and a lot of testing. That's also very important. But you can get there. Like you may think that branding is for big corporates, and not true. You can build a very great brand just by yourself, but you have to be patient and you have to do it right from the beginning, not skipping any steps. Anyways, if you are looking to create a brand that is aligned, it's clear, and it's consistent, this may be your sign to start. So this is it for today. I'm having fun. I'm enjoying the process. I'm learning here also to be on camera because yes, I am or was, if this is future me speaking, camera shy. So I'm learning to, and wearing all the hats. Because same as you, I am walking through this same path. I am creating a personal brand here. This is my first video. I invite you to follow me, subscribe, give likes, share with anyone, support, and follow along in this journey and see how I am growing my brand.